Katie, and this is my sheep brain dissection. So I placed the sheep brain dorsal side up, and I'm first going to show you the cerebrum, and it goes from here to here. And next I'm going to show you the four lobes. So this is the parietal lobe, this is the occipital lobe, and down here on the sides is the temporal lobes. Now to go into more detail about each, I'm going to first talk about the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe controls things like language, motor, and memory. Next is the parietal lobe, and this helps with things like movement, sensory information, and attention. The occipital lobe is in charge of visual perception. Lastly, the temporal lobes are in charge of auditory information. Now we're going to talk about the sulci. These are right here, here, and they are the grooves between the gyri. The medial longitudinal way is where I cut the sheep's brain in half, and it separates the left and right hemispheres. This is the cerebellum. The cerebellum does things like coordination of movements and helping you stay balanced. And it's also known as the mini brain. Next, as we open the brain into halves, left and right hemispheres, I'm going to show you where the pons, medulla, cerebellum, and spinal cord are. So the pons is here, the medulla is here, the cerebellum is here, and this is the spinal cord. These are the olfactory bulb, and these are located in the frontal lobe. Here is the remnants of the optic chiasma. Okay, now I'm going to show you the ventricles. This is the first ventricle, and this is fluid-filled pockets of cerebral spinal fluid, and this is also known as the lateral ventricle. Underneath the fornix, this is the third ventricle. This is the fourth ventricle in the cerebellum. To keep on the topic of pockets that hold cerebral spinal fluid, inside the third ventricle, or near, it is the choroid plexus, and that produces the cerebral spinal fluid. Starting off with the thalamus relies sensory and motor information. Here in front of and below the thalamus is the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus regulates things like body temperature, hunger, and emotions. Right here is the pineal gland. This secretes a hormone called melatonin. Next is the pons, and this connects the forebrain and the cerebellum together. Next is the medulla, and the medulla is under the pons. And the medulla is there to regulate breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. Here's the midbrain, and this is between the thalamus and the pons. I cut the frontal lobe, and here you can see the gray matter, and this is the white matter.